An accountant with no criminal record brutally murdered his girlfriend by stabbing her in broad daylight. Today, we're gonna find out what happened between the two of them. The case takes us to Taipei, Taiwan. In the early morning of September 22, 2014, Miss Lin Pei Zhen was on her way to work. As usual, she would always get a sandwich from a takeout near her house. But on this day, she did not make it to work. Her ex-boyfriend, Zhang Yanwen, had been waiting for her. Miss Lin was shocked to see Zhang. The two of them had broken up not long ago, but Zhang refused to break up. Zhang had been trying to reconcile with Miss Lin, but she refused. On this day, Zhang went up to her and begged her to take him back. The two then started arguing. After arguing for a few minutes, an enraged Zhang took out a kitchen knife from his bag and stabbed Ms. Lin furiously. Her cry for help turned softer and softer, eventually ending in silence. It was during this time that Zhang did the unimaginable. He took off Ms. Lin's pants and panties and began licking her dead body. When the police arrived at the scene, they saw Zhang sobbing loudly and mutilating himself with the knife he killed Ms. Lin with. The police shouted for Zhang to put down the knife, which he did. The police arrested Zhang on the spot. He was covered in blood and looked disorientated. According to the autopsy, Miss Lin was stabbed a total of 47 times. She died on the spot. Lin Pei Zhen, 22, was a kindergarten teacher. Her students' parents describes her as bubbly and warm-hearted. A worker from the takeout told reporters that Miss Lin would often patronize the takeout and she would always have a smile on her face. In 2013, Miss Lin met her ex-boyfriend, Zhang Yanwen, on an online forum. Not long after, she decided to move in with Zhang as she felt that moving in would bring them closer. Zhang was 35 when he met Ms. Lin. He graduated from one of the top colleges in Taiwan. During his time in college, he was described by his peers as an outgoing person. Zhang was also a sports player who took part in and won several tournaments. After graduation, he managed to get an accounting job at one of the big account firms in Taiwan. With everything going well for Zhang, why did he choose to go down the path of a murderer? Ms. Lin's nightmare begins as soon as she moves in with Zhang. Zhang was hot-tempered, petty, and a control freak. He would often secretly check Ms. Lin's cell phone messages and emails on her laptop without her consent. On one occasion, Zhang accused Ms. Lin of two-timing him after he discovered she was in contact with another guy. Ms. Lin denied the allegation. She told Zhang he was being unreasonable. After Ms. Lin's death, reporters managed to contact the guy she was in contact with. It turned out that he was just a housing agent helping Ms. Lin look for another place to rent. Sensing their relationship was going south, Zhang suggested a trip to Japan to salvage the couple's relationship. Ms. Lin reluctantly agreed, but the trip did not improve their relationship. It became even worse than before. There was constant bickering during the trip, and Ms. Lin finally could not take it anymore. When she told Zhang she wanted to break up with him, Zhang went berserk. He sexually assaulted Ms. Lin twice, took her nude photos, and threatened to expose them if she broke up with him. Zhang told her that he would not hesitate to kill her if she left him. A scared Ms. Lin did not go to the police. She decided to move out instead after returning from Japan. Fearing for her life, Ms. Lin texted Zhang, begging him to leave her alone as she was afraid Zhang would kill her. After Ms. Lin moved out, Zhang sank into deep sorrow. His performance at work deteriorated, and he was often late to work. During this time, Zhang started to have thoughts of killing Ms. Lin, so he went to buy a knife. 2 days before the murder, he wrote 2 suicide notes. In one of the notes, he wrote, "To my dear wife, how I wish I could go back in time to love you again. You are my only princess. Nobody else can have you if I can't. Please don't blame anyone if I do something to you." On the day of the murder, Zhang wakes up early at 4 a.m. and travels to where Ms. Lin was staying. He had planned to kill Ms. Lin if she did not want to take him back. In the end, Ms. Lin's worst nightmare came true. Zhang proceeds to stab her in cold blood and lick her corpse. Ms. Lin's death did not only affect her loved ones. Zhang's family was also affected. His family was extremely remorseful for what Zhang had done to Ms. Lin. Zhang's elder brother got down on his knees and apologized to Ms. Lin's mother. But she did not wish to accept their apology. After the murder, Zhang tried to plead insanity to reduce his sentence, but it was rejected by the court after a psychiatric assessment did not find him to be mentally ill during the time of the murder. In 2018, Zhang was sentenced to 15 years of imprisonment. Ms. Lin's mother felt the sentence was unfair given the fact that her daughter was brutally murdered. Ms. Lin's mother wanted the court to sentence Zhang to death. In February of 2021, the court decided to overturn the sentence. Zhang's initial 15 years of imprisonment was changed to life, after another judge felt that Zhang's killing Ms. Lin in broad daylight was too gruesome. Zhang tried to appeal against the life sentence, but it was rejected by the court. In the end, Zhang was sentenced to life imprisonment with no chance of parole. According to statistics, most victims of sexual assault choose to not report the case for a number of reasons. 1. Fear of the consequences. In Ms. Lin's case, she received death threats, and Zhang also threatened her with her nude photos. 2. The feeling of shame is so intense for some victims that many will never tell anyone what happened to them. 3. The reporting process was traumatic. The police will often need to take photos of the victim's injuries, and the victim will need to submit a sexual assault forensic exam kit at the hospital. 4. The victims fear that nobody will believe them. It is important to realize that offenders are more likely to choose victims who have been previously assaulted. Because of this, Ms. Lin eventually paid with her own life. Women should report their cases to prevent their abusers from hurting them again or hurting other women. In Japan, there are companies that help domestically abused women relocate away from their abusive husbands. These companies will help these women start a new life and maybe even change their identity legally to a new one. It might not be easy for some victims, but taking the first step is important for their road to recovery. They should understand that there is always help around and that they are not alone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content and turn on the notification bell for future updates.